Hey guys, back from Rock Loft Studio. I am back from a hell of a weekend at Daytona Beach. Glad to finally be home. We're going to get going. Episode 206, February 20th, 2024. Got Dan Carter back once again. What's up, buddy?
What's happening?
Listen, we had talked about you all going down to Daytona with us or with me. I'm glad you didn't go.
That
Uh,
bad.
you probably would have never went back, and nothing to do with it was just rain, just killed everything. I flew down Friday, got to watch some of the Xfinity race, or not Xfinity. Well, we watched the truck race and the ARCA race Friday night. Went back to the room, got up Saturday, um, got to hang out in the garage, watch Xfinity qualifying, and as soon as that was over, the rain started and didn't quit until Monday, probably 11 o'clock.
Ooh,
Yeah. So, long weekend. No fun was had at Daytona this go around, sadly.
man,
So,
hate that.
it sucked. The worst part was not knowing.
Right.
Like, you couldn't go do anything else that required any time because if it quit raining at all and they caught a window, they were going to race and you didn't want to not be around. And so you were just kind of like, what do I do? So
Right.
I just went to the bar and ate and hydrated and waited and hydrated some more. And that was my weekend. That was it.
Yeah.
No fun. No racing was had.
Yeah.
Um,
I hate we missed it, man. I had a buddy of mine. They used to go down. The whole family would go down, watch the race at Daytona, and every year they'd invite me and be like, "Man, I can't. I got to work. I got to work." And it's like I always wanted to go, and then same old scenario. Like get another chance to go. Work throws a wrench in everything.
well, you didn't miss nothing this weekend. We it was one of those weekends that makes you not want to go back
Right.
because it's so far from home and you get down there and it's just whatever, part of outdoor big time sports, I guess. Nonetheless, we're back and it's race season. uh Hawk Pride this past weekend for the Outlaw race. Got to see some video of I've not watched all of it, but that course looked looked like it had some pretty good ledges in it.
Yeah.
um you didn't get to go. We didn't race. Just kind of holding out for Windrock, hopefully. I don't know though, man. That I don't know exactly where they raced at. We were talking about that. It looked like a new part, maybe. But listen, even Timmy, Timmy come back and he's racing again this year. It wasn't easy for him.
Right.
The videos I seen, he backed up and had to think about it. And then there were some of them guys running in there at 100 miles an hour. I don't know what they thought they were going to do. I mean, you're basically hitting a damn wall.
Right.
I don't know. Didn't hear any drama from down there, which is always good though. Usually, usually with those races, there's something about um, tape and this and that. And let me ask you another question. Something else I didn't see, and maybe this was discussed ahead of time. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Did it look? They didn't look like they were running two lanes.
I don't know. I didn't see that either. Like the video that I've seen, it looked like it was concentrating on one single lane.
Yeah, if anybody, I mean, somebody let us know if we're wrong, and if they're going away from that or what have you. Don't really know. Then, like I said, I was out of commission all weekend. Um, But yeah, it didn't look like they were doing the 2 lanes, which I never was a great big fan of.
Right.
Um, anyways, I mean, honestly, it seemed like there was always trouble. You're always driving through somebody else's dust.
Right.
Um, and that's fine. I mean, that's part of racing, but we're basically a time trial sport. So, I mean, if we're doing time trials, I feel like it should be you shouldn't have to look over and see somebody else running.
Right. I think the less you've got to deal with, the better in a situation like that. And I think that that would be kind of the way I would want to see things done. I know it's hard to run that much at one time, but you plan for a full day of racing anyway. So
Yeah, there's never been a series that couldn't get done in a normal amount of time.
right,
I know they want to run that third hill, but I don't think the side by side lanes. I don't think that gains you anything. Um, because we're usually done by 3 or 4 o'clock.
right,
Hell, when we was running pro rock, a lot of times they didn't start till 9 o'clock at night.
right.
And we were done in a couple hours. As long as you keep it moving, you're not saving any time. You can get it done in a 3 or 4 hour window if you really hustle.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully that goes away. Hopefully it's back to single runs. Let's see what else is new. Oh, Timmy Cameron. I just kind of talked about him a little bit. Looks like
Yeah.
he's back racing.
Yeah. That's that's the word on the street. I've heard that uh the new buggy 100 shot, and then it looked like he's got a new race razor. I guess that'd be 50 shot.
Yeah.
But I
Uh,
mean that
that's a
say you
good
hit
looking rig, but he didn't get no trophy this weekend in it, so I don't know what happened. I've got to get back, and when the videos come out, I'm going to actually watch them and form a little better opinion. I don't have much of one right now, but
yeah.
um,
I was told that it had a pretty good run in the big buggy, obviously first place. And then I was told in the UTV stuff that he was running, had a good run, and then he kind of overshot a turn or missed a turn and just kind of had some brain fog and realized that he had missed a turn and just kind of let out of it and bowed out.
well, if you can't win, don't beat your stuff all to pieces.
Right. That was smart, because it's one of those things like it's not going to pay you to be 10th place. So if you realize you made a boo boo, like you said, go ahead and save the car. Just come on track.
Yeah, that is uncharacteristic for him, though. Especially, of course, that goes to tell you I feel like if he was points running, he would have went ahead and finished.
Right.
So he may not be planning on running the full series. Maybe just hitting the ones he wants and picking and choosing a little bit. And so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I did kind of like his new buggy, his new Razor buggy. His are pretty. They're well built and pretty simple. They're race cars. But man, have you noticed? Okay, the one Nathaniel's got, which was his last Razor buggy, and then the one that's on there now, or the one he's got now, it looks like the front end of those things are so long,
Right.
and it looks like he sits so far back. I don't know if it's just the way. I guess it's just the way he's built it.
Yeah.
But the nose looks like a damn Lincoln.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Got the big old long hood on the front. I don't know. It's optical illusion. I'm assuming.
Yeah. Because I don't know what I don't know what wheelbase is running that Razor buggy, but like you would think that it looks like it's 120 inches long, but it's like 30 inches from the back of the engine to the back of the seat.
Yeah,
And then from the front of the seat, it's almost like it's another 100 inches.
yeah. And I mean, hell, he's won a lot of races in them deals. So I don't know.
Oh,
It's completely opposite though. I feel like his the two seater that he's been riding. You see videos of him and it doesn't look that way. It
right.
looks a little more stubby in the front. So, like I said, maybe it's just all optical illusions. Maybe it's the minimalistic cage to keep the weight down. Just the way it all looks has got me bumfuzzled. But man, they look really long. We had a new winner this week in the UTV class. Of course, Timmy, like I said, took the win in the big bouncers. I don't know this name. I think I've heard it a little bit, but and maybe he runs Outlaw and doesn't run with us. Cody Carlock
Yeah.
took the win in the UTV class. If that's not his first podium, I'm sure it's not his first win. It's not one of many. So congratulations to him. I like to see a lot of new faces, and I think we're going to see a bunch of new faces this year.
Right.
I'm seeing new buggies pop up, people talking about racing. I'm getting people calling the store, buying parts for race cars that I don't know.
Right.
So I get a lot of questions like, is rock bouncing dead? No, it is not. I think the Razor classes are really going to heat up this year. A lot of new and a lot of reinvented machines. Timmy's back, so we're going to see how fast actually everybody is. So I don't know. It's going to be a good year. Going to be a good year. We'll have our NRRA season preview with all of our season picks next week. We'll get to talk about all that. And while we're here talking, we just talked about Hawk Pride. Before we get too far away from it, for our first on the hook winner of 2024, I'm going to nominate Jeremiah Strauss. He hit that in the window liquor buggy, the heel. He was the one I was talking about, looked like 100 miles an hour. Tore the whole front wheel off of it. It was a toss-up between him and, why am I drawing a blank on his name right now? Had the half-ton last year.
Johnny Gibbs.
Johnny Gibbs. Jesus Christ, I couldn't think of his name. Yes. It's for me. It's between Jeremiah and Johnny Gibbs. Did you get to see their wrecks?
Yeah, man, I love the window liquor buggy, but man, I love Johnny. So I'm gonna have to go with Johnny.
All right, we'll call it.
Jake Pike built him brand new, and I don't know how he got Jake Pike to build him a buggy.
I didn't even know that was happening.
I'd heard it was happening, but I didn't know for sure because it was always like he's gonna build him a buggy if he can get him to do it. So I guess Johnny wrote him a blank check. I don't know what happened, but he come out there and in typical Johnny fashion, he hit it wide ass open.
Jesus Christ! First time he drove it.
Oh yeah, brand new buggy. I think I remember seeing Jake back it off the trailer for him.
Yeah, the videos and I don't know. I'm not in on this situation, so I have no clue. But they posted a video of Johnny looking at the buggy like it was the first time he had seen it in person, and maybe it was the first time he'd seen it since it was finished.
Yeah.
But he looked very. You could see the look in his eye. He was very happy. And I'll tell you what, we'll give the first on the hook winner this year to Johnny Gibbs. All right. New buggy from L&W Fab. Chet sent us some update pictures this week. What do you think?
And I'll be honest with you, I feel like a little too nice. Uh, he did some panels, and man, like it looks like he spent hours on these panels.
It's I tried to tell him he's building a race car that's going to get wrecked and turn over and run into shit. Big giant rocks, Chet. And here he is putting bead rolls on all the panels. And he's like, I don't know if I like this one or not. I may have to remake it. Dude,
I,
it's good.
yeah, like I love it, but it's like I'm so worried about busting one of those panels and being like, "Hey, Chet, I need another panel."
Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe we turn it into a show car. Oh, coming to a race near you, the Rockloff Off Road L&W Dan Carter Racing Buggy is going to have the velvet rope around it with the "Please do not touch" sign.
That's right.
Oh, it is a good looking rig, man. The more I look at it, the more I love it.
Yeah,
Um, he's
man.
he's done a
I'm
killer job.
yeah, I'm with you, man. That's God. That thing's so badass.
I'm anxious to. I don't know. It looks really good now. I'm so curious of what it'll look like powder coated. You know, all done up. Um, I don't know, dude. It's so cool. Um, it's way different than what I don't. I say it's different than what I expected, but I don't know what I expected.
Right.
So that's not a fair statement, I don't guess. But I don't know. I never dreamed that it would be what it is.
Yeah, and like I even saw pictures of he designed all this on QCAD or something. I don't know what he designed it on, but it's almost like a uh,
The pewter.
yeah, the he's got a little bit more than etch a sketch in his office.
Yeah.
When he was showing me like the rendition of it, I was like, man, there ain't no way. Like if you could get it half, like looking as half that good, then it'll be badass. And dude, he pretty much went spot on with it. And it was like, well, I had to change some stuff I didn't like or whatever, but I mean, it looks 10 times better in person than it did on the computer. But I mean, it's
He sent me, or you showed me the original, like what he had drawn up, and I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sold on it.
yeah,
I mean, because it's just hard to translate that for me.
right,
You know, for what's on a computer screen to what it actually is going to look like. It's hard for me to translate that. I wasn't completely sold on it, but I was like, man, you know, Chet's done this. Not necessarily a razor buggy, but he's done this. He knows what he's doing. It'll be okay. And it's been more than okay.
oh for sure,
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that thing, getting her wired and plumbed and all the goodies, and it makes me feel bad for using used parts on it. So if anybody
hey,
would like to sponsor our race program so we can afford not shiny new parts to put on the shiny new museum piece, you guys holler at us.
yeah, like it's almost like you want to take anything that was used and either clean it up really well or just buy brand new.
Well, dude, I'm telling you, everything that's coming out of it when I get it to the shop is either getting painted, powdered, getting some alumibride on it, at least some spray paint here and there just to cover the rough edges. Because everything that's going in that, there's a few new pieces, but a lot of the stuff that's going in that is left over from the old red buggy. Um, so I don't know. It's going to be so out of place. It's so dull versus so new and shiny. Speaking of which, okay, we got the old full body. at the shop. Dude,
Yeah,
dude,
I, I know that. And I feel for you guys because that old full body's been rode hard, put up wet.
dude. We have we. You're gonna have to hire somebody to come help you work on stuff. That poor thing. I do not know how it was even rolling in a straight line.
Right.
Steering rack come out in three pieces, y'all. Three pieces. Didn't even really have to take the bolts out. Take the tie rods loose and just get it. There it is.
That quick release.
Yeah, quick release steering rack. Uh, on top of the normal wear of a razor frame, um, you got some slop in your bolt holes, which is normal. Um, let's see what else. You've got a custom molded um, intercooler radiator.
Right.
That thing looks like it's a beach. Got them waves in it. Steering issues outside of the steering rack. I don't even know how the steering wheel was still in it.
Yeah. That that thing I'd had trouble with steering in that car just about its whole life. Like we run some survival stuff in it, and we'd have trouble with the power steering kicking in and out. We fixed that by upgrading the Super ATV steering, and that helped us tremendously. But this past year, man, it's just gotten worse and worse.
Well, the power steering still works fine. Um, you're, oh gosh, the everything that had a bolt run through it was broken.
Yeah.
Is broken. So we're getting all that. Well, we found a piece today. We were going to have it. Um, I could have put it back on its wheels today, but we found a few little things as we were going back together, and we had to order some more pieces and parts. Um, but you won't know what to do with yourself.
That
She's
thing's going to be far.
she's gonna drive like a brand new one, bud.
I'm stoked.
Brand new. Listen, it's got we got the radiator in it today. Have the fan wired up in the morning, ready to put some coolant back in it. We're gonna run it, make sure that's good, and then I would say by tomorrow afternoon, I'd say it'll be back on the ground, ready to put the cage back on it. So we're moving along pretty well. It's gonna be a whole new machine, buddy. We're gonna watch you kick some ass in that thing because you won't know how what to do next.
I'm stoked.
Drive it. All right. Speaking of which, that has to be, and I'm not saying that because it's you, but that is my favorite full body razor ever. But I
Yeah.
think it's because of the longevity. It's been around, it's been beat on, it's done some crazy stuff.
Right.
Um, but that thing's a 2016 model. It's been racing since the minute it rolled out the showroom. It's got way more race miles than it does trail ride miles.
Right.
So when you think of, your favorite machines, if you had to pick one, what would be your favorite all-time big rock bouncer?
Man, that's a hard question. Because you think like you talk about longevity, then you start thinking about the the buggies that have been around the longest. And of course, the staple is Screaming Blue.
Blue, I think, is at the top of the list no matter who you talk to.
Right.
Blue's been chewed up and spit out and redone, and Right now, if it's all still bolted together, it would come out and still be a competitor.
Right.
And I don't know what year it was built, but it was a long
I,
time ago. In rock bouncing terms, it was a long time
yeah,
ago.
man, I really don't know. I would say I'm 99% sure that Essentially Off Road built that buggy, or either it was a wide open design.
I don't I have no idea. But it's an old
But
buggy.
but
But
it
if you had to pick one,
oh man, I would yeah, I'd have to go. I like West King's Rat Rod also, but it hadn't been around near it had, it hasn't had near the life that Screaming Blue has. And just since we're talking about the full body and its longevity, I would Screaming Blue.
blue's a good pick. You can't go wrong with blue. Um, man, I think I'm going to go a little bit away from blue. And I don't know what year this was. And it was a short lived machine. I'm going just the opposite. You know, blue's been around forever, it's iconic. But I guess my favorite rock bouncer that was ever built, and I think it's because it was so different at the time. Well, it's even if you look at it compared to today, it's still nothing has ever been built like it. When Timmy Cameron built Ultra Bouncer,
Mm.
dude, that
Yeah,
thing was wild.
yeah,
And that has always been, and I think it's not currently in use or it rolling. I don't even think, but it does still exist. Um, but that's always been like my, if I could have any of them.
right.
And I don't even know what suspension or axles or nothing was under it. I don't even remember at this point. I just remember that offset looking cage, and it was just wild, so different. And then he come out and kicked ass in it,
Yeah,
um, which that's not unusual, but that buggy was just so out there, kind of like
right.
Outlaw,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
just completely different. But I think Ultra Bouncer was probably um, my favorite buggy. Um, and sticking with that, I want to ask you another question. Going back, um, let's say, what year did you start like racing? Probably 16, 17, like
I
with this
would
stuff.
I would say we started, yeah, probably I can't remember exactly what it was. I'm gonna say it was 16
Well,
because my first race was at Chocolaco Mountain with Joey Beck and Trip was there, but there was also I can't remember the guy's name, but he's real big in with like the Mega Truck series, and
yeah,
him and Joey and all them got together and had a razor race, and I had at the time a 100 no 660 Rhino that had some work done to it, like it was long traveled. It was more or less I don't know. It was, like I said, it was long traveled. Had a little bit of motor work done to it, and I just remember my very first race. There's like 25 people there, and I think I may have come in like sixth or seventh. And I was like, hell, that's pretty good to be in a
the damn
Yamaha
Rhino.
when everybody else has got brand new turbo razors. So, so that was about that time that the turbos had come out in 16.
Yeah, so yours is a 16. Yours is a 16. So yeah, that'd be about right. Because I remember it. Um, or you had it in 17, 18. But anyways, where I was going with that is um, before I got into working the series and working rock bouncing and going to the events, covering the events, selling parts at the events. I was like anybody else. I was a fan of the sport.
Right.
Never dreamed that we would be as involved in it as I am at this point. But I was always a fan. And so, like, when I used to watch the races, Ultra Bouncer was my bouncer. That was probably around that time because we started in 16 or 17, about the same time you did, really. We started around that time, and I want to say Ultra Bouncer was probably, somebody will know. Bub will listen. Bub will know. It was probably 14, 13, 14 when it was built. Maybe a little after that. Maybe 15. I don't know. That was my favorite bouncer, but like as a fan, I'm kind of stealing your pick here, and it's because we met him one time, and just like at a park riding, didn't know him from anybody. But we talked to him at a park riding, and then was watching some Mad Ram videos on the old YouTubes, and there he was, and I was like, oh shit, that's old dude from the place. So Ultra Bouncer was my favorite machine. Bobby Tanner's always been my favorite driver.
Yeah.
Like I said, we met Bobby. This was probably, blue was still shiny
Yeah.
because he had blue, and they were. I want to say at Black Mountain. We were at Black Mountain, I think, and he was over there, and we talked to him. Got to watch him run some stuff. I don't know. They were there most of the day and then left. And then, like I said, got home, was checking out the old internet, and there he was. So he's always been my favorite driver. Did you even watch it really before you got into it? And if you did, like who was somebody, or did you have anybody you pulled for, or was you just like, a lot of fans don't know the drivers' names; they just recognize the buggies.
Yeah.
So did you have a favorite, I guess, driver?
Man, yeah, this is gonna get me in trouble. And this is why I wore the shirt tonight. So, gotta give you some backstory on all this. We used to go to Grey Rock a good bit. And before shit got out of hand with rock bouncing, there was a guy, Joe Matlock. He had a pretty cool Bronco buggy. And that all trail ride, they'd go, they'd come up to Grey Rock and go ride and stuff. Well, then notice this guy that would always go around filming all of them. Well, then a couple of rides later, he brings his Jeep and he's recording. So he's going to let his wife drive his Jeep. So if anybody knows what I'm talking about, the driver is going to be Lori Shirley. And she may have been one of the first women to compete in Southern Rock Road. But dude, she would drive the wheels off of his Jeep. And I mean, with all due respect to, to the Tanners and to the Shirleys, but as a teenage kid seeing two hot chicks wearing tank tops bounce up Cable Hill in this Jeep bouncing off a rev limiter on an LS motor and smoke, I mean, it's just hard to beat.
Yeah, I could
So,
imagine so. I sadly don't remember those days.
man, I tell you, she could drive. I mean, and then I think she raced for a season, maybe two, but and then Shelby, she raced a little bit. Bobby's daughter,
Hmm.
she raced a little bit, and then um, life happens with everybody. They, getting married and having kids and stuff like that slows things down.
Uh, yeah, I don't think I ever got to see any of them run. Um, I tell you one. Listen. Outside of that, I'll tell you another buggy that I don't know or not. I've seen the. Yeah, hold on, let me think. I don't think I've ever seen it run. Um, I'm going to embarrass myself a little bit by saying this, but I don't remember ever seeing um, any of the Plowboys actually race.
Yeah,
Like I know there's been 10 of them. It seems like,
right,
but I don't. I remember they built the first one and he run it, and then they built the second one and they converted it to an Ultra 4 car
right,
to go run hammers or something.
right.
But that would have been right when I was getting started, and I don't know. I don't know as I ever actually. I've met Richie. I've seen the rigs, but I don't know as I ever seen any of them actually race.
Yeah,
That's kind of
he
sad.
he was a good one to watch because him and Bobby were really good friends, and they built the first car, or Richie had the first car built. And dude, it was cool to see in person. It was every single bit of that car was like custom.
Yeah,
Like even like the wheels had like John Deere emblems cut into them, so that was pretty cool. But
yeah,
from what they they were going to do the shootout at King of Hammers, and then also wanted to run while they were there King of Hammers. And if anybody's listening, that maybe they know, but I can't remember if it was going to take so much to get that car to where it would pass qualify or pass spec that I think he built another car just to race King of Hammers that was similar to that car but would pass tech.
that
But
would
I'm
have
not.
that would have been two. I'm my memory's a little foggy. I think he built Plowboy 2, and then I think they ended up cutting the roof and stuff off of it and redoing it
Right.
for hammers. Um,
That may be it.
yeah, I think so, and I could be wrong, guys. I'm trying to reach back here many beers ago and draw memories up, but I'm thinking that's what happened.
And then Plowboy 3. So I would say, yeah, you have actually seen one of them race.
If I have, it was like maybe at Bikini Bottoms.
So Plowboy 3 belongs to Ethan Martin now.
Well, I've seen that, but I don't think I ever seen Richie drive it.
But like original two, um, I remember the guy that wound up in Birmingham, Alabama for a stint. And I don't know if the guy was trying to just put it back together or what, but it sat at uh, a local guy's shop that I know. It sat there for a bit, and he was going to fix it up, but I don't know if he ever did or not.
I'm thinking back, and if I did ever see it run, it would have probably been at like Bikini Bottoms.
Right,
It seemed like you might see Richie at like a season opener somewhere, and then you might not see him again the finals. And so if I ever did see it run, it was probably at finals. And I only get to hit about half the events a year, and
right.
so I think maybe I just missed that. Um, I'd like to have seen him run. I've seen Bobby run a bunch. Of course, Bobby, raced up until what last year,
Right.
pretty consistently. So I wish I'd have been around a little bit more back in the day, or been maybe I was there. Maybe I should have been a little bit more vigilant to what I was getting to see.
Well, and see what kind of messed things up is Clyde didn't know how well the UTV stuff was going to go over, so he kept us separate from the big cars for I think a year or 2 years. I can't remember.
Well, you had it was Saturday only big buggies. Friday was UTVs, and then Bounty was standalone.
Right, right. I
There
think
for a while.
it happened for a year or two that we were standalone.
Yeah, Bounty was standalone there for 2 seasons. We run our own parks, own events. Um, so I mean, I was out a lot of races, but it was a lot of UTV stuff because that's what we're based around. So I missed a lot of that stuff, man. I wish I'd been around for more of it. Um, but nonetheless, we're here now, and we're seeing new buggies get built, new names come and go, new moments, I guess, as they happen. And now that we're filming some, I'm getting to see more and more of it because there's been a lot of these events that I've been to that I don't get to see any of them.
Right.
I see the people in between, but we're working, and I don't get to see a lot of the racing. But now that we're filming, I get to see a whole lot more of it. And dude, these guys are nuts. You're nuts. You're all nuts. You're all freaking crazy. Okay, coming up March 1st and 2nd, National Rock Racing Association kicks off their season at Windrock Park, Oliver Springs, Tennessee. Friday, we've got UTV racing and VIN class racing be starting at noon. Saturday, Big Bouncers, UTV, Bounty, and Youth class starting at 9 a.m. Guys, if you've never been to Windrock, just a fair warning. Friday's not too bad. Saturday, you better be early. I've seen cars backed all the way out to the highway trying to get in that place. It's a hell of a show. It's a good course. It's a fast course. There'll be plenty of vendors there. Rock Life will be there. We usually have several other vendors will be there. Super Grip will be there. Clyde will have his vendor trailer pulled up with official National Rock Racing Association merch. Hopefully, full body's in tip-top shape. And hopefully you get to drive it around a little bit before you have to go race it in the Rock Life Off-Road UTV stock class this year. Man, I look forward to it. We've only got one more off weekend. That's it.
Today, the new trophies, and I gotta get one, man.
They're pretty sweet.
They look good.
I'm excited. I think we're gonna have a good season. It's gonna be a good year. Next week we're gonna do our and maybe we were supposed to do it this week. I don't know. It felt more right to do it next week, so I pushed it. Next week we're gonna do our season preview. We're gonna make our picks for the year. We're gonna talk a little bit more about the Windrock event. Maybe some Windrock moments over the years, and we'll get ready for that event. Guys, stick around. We got the rundown next. We'll talk about the finishing order for the Outlaw race this weekend. Daniel, bye.
We'll see you.
All right, guys, we're back for this week's rundown. We're talking about the Outlaw Off-Road Racing Series from Hawk Pride Mountain Off-Road Park in Tuscumbia, Alabama for their first round of the 2024 season. Guys, the results I've got in front of me, we've had to search the internet over for. We're not seeing enough posts from the series about your podium finishers. We shouldn't have to be looking at media pages. Your series have fans. They need to see it from the series. Series, please do a little bit better about celebrating your champions, your winners of these events. It would mean a lot to your drivers, and it would mean a lot to your fans as well. So that's something I think will help grow our sport if we can get a little more support from the actual series. So excuses if any of these are wrong, guys. We're doing the best we can trying to hunt up these results for you. Pro-Am class, Cody McDonald was your winner with Robert McAdams in second and T. Croft in third. Youth class saw Caden Keene take the win, Dallas Heckley in second, and Sadie Ellison in third place for the very first youth race for Outlaw Off-Road Racing. UTV saw Cody Carlock take the win, Dylan Dowler in second, and Clay Kaysen, last year's champion, rounding out the top three. Big bouncers, Timmy Cameron takes a return to the top box after a year away from Outlaw. Wes Keene was in second, and Nick Reich rounded out top three. Guys, no races next weekend. Then we head to Oliver Springs, Tennessee at Windrock Off-Road Park for the National Rock Racing Association round number 1 for 2024. Guys, get there early. Be on the lookout. Out the Top Media is going to be there. We're going to get some film. We're going to do a live podcast from Windrock. So get ready, guys. The real season's about to start.